Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the Mermaid Mystic Major Arcana month. Today, we're continuing the journey of the Major Arcana with the card, the Magician. So if you're taking notes, which I do recommend, if you're learning the tarot, grab your pen and paper or grab your digital format, whatever you use, and we'll dive right in. So let's have a look at the imagery first with the Magician, because there's so much here to unpack and it's really cool. So we see that we have a figure who's pointing both above and below. They're wearing a white gown and a red robe. We see a table in front of them with all of the tools of the Magician. The infinity symbol is above their noodle. They are surrounded by flowers, and if you look very closely, their belt is an Ouroboros, so the snake that eats its own tail. What does this all mean? So, firstly, this is really a symbol of alchemy and of realizing that the spiritual is the material and the material is the spiritual. There is no distinction. The arms indicate as above and so below, which is a line from the Emerald Tablet, which is an alchemical text. This again reminds us, as above, so below, that spirit and the material aren't actually separate, they are one. So here we're uniting the spiritual and the material by channeling. This figure is holding a wand up. We are channeling universal life force energy. We're taking those dreams and those ideas and we're anchoring them into reality through all of the tools that we have, which are represented by the tools on the table. And the tools on the table are associated with each of the suits in the minor arcana. So there's the suit of cups, swords, pentacles, and wands, and each of those tools are on the table. Each of those tools represent a different element. Cups represent water, pentacles represent earth, swords represent air, and wands represent fire. So what we have here is we have all four elements working in harmony. When that happens in alchemy, we're able to channel something called quintessence. So again, this is bringing spirit in the material, or realizing that spirit is already in all of the material. So in order to transform your ideas or dreams into reality, these are the tools you're using, all of your tools. So the Magician really reminds us that our thoughts are energy, our words are energy, our feelings are energy. Cups are associated with feelings, swords are associated with communication and also our thoughts, pentacles with our bodies, right? Wands with our passion, with our fire. When we realize that all of those are tools, all of those are creating, then we can intentionally lean into them to take our dreams and turn them into reality. All of the flowers you see on the card represent just that, the manifestation, the growth of your intention. The wand also helps to have a specific point, so you know what you are manifesting in the Magician. And I know that manifesting is a word that can be like annoying because it might have been just like overused, misused, but you get this idea, right? There's a thing that you want to create or experience, and you're using your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, your words, the kit and caboodle in order to bring it into form. You know what it is, you're bringing it into form. So whatever you want to call that, that is what you're doing in the Magician. The Ouroboros. The Ouroboros, there is an ancient alchemical text in which we see the drawing of the Ouroboros, and the line in the center of it is the all is one. So the Magician reminds us that everything is one. So everything is connected, which is again why your thoughts and your words and your feelings actually matter. They're going out into the web of life at all time because you're connected to everything through energy. And here you are channeling energy to create what you want to create. We see the infinity symbol above the Magician, and when you realize that that's what life is, you are like limitless. Like there's no limit to what you could do. Everything is connected forever. The Magician can also remind us that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transformed. And that's really what the Magician is doing, because the Magician could also be known as the alchemist, balancing all of the elements, as above, so below, the Ouroboros, even the colors. The red robe represents the red king from alchemy. The white represents the white queen from alchemy, which are really just two symbols to represent different types of energies at play in the universe, sometimes known as divine feminine or divine masculine, that are not meant to be one or the other. They're always meant to be together. They're meant to be combined. So with the red king wants to expand, is focused on more intellectual pursuits, right? So the Red King is planning for the future and wants to read some studies. Whereas the White Queen trusts dreams and storytelling and is receptive. But as you can see, it's not about one favoring the other. The Magician is wearing both colors. So when the Magician appears, we are really embracing a sense of wholeness. We are channeling all this energy. We're realizing that we are the magic. This is really the card that teaches you you are the magic, because they're not like, oh, the magician. Okay, you have all the tools you need. You need this really expensive crystal that someone showed you on TikTok to manifest. You have to take this super expensive course, blah, 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 blah. The magician is like, you are the thing that will create all the tools that you need. So in the magician, you're manifesting, you're creating something. It doesn't mean that you have literally all the things that you need. And if there are things, you are the magnet that attracts them. You are the one who creates the reality in which you have them. So the magician is very alive. It is full of energy, and it is full of focus, and it is full of wholeness. Those are all I know rather like esoteric. So if you're going to look at the magician, I'm going to say more practically, but I don't think that including the esoteric meanings of the magician is impractical at all, because if we are leaning into tarot, then we are leaning into spiritual pursuits, and we are opening our minds and our hearts to more ways of viewing the world and of life. But if you do get this card and you feel like you couldn't really communicate to someone that, they are the universe in motion, then what you could say is this person is resourceful. So they are using all of the tools that they have to manifest a specific outcome. So they have an idea of what they want to create, and they're going to use all of their tools to make it so. So your tools do absolutely include everything that you have: your ideas, your voice, any connections you have to friends, your physical body, your laptop, your phone. Those are outside of you for sure, but you start to look around at your life and just see how many resources you truly have. So you're very resourceful in the magician. You are very focused, and you are working with your feelings and energy and words and actions. You're using, again, all of your tools to create something. Lastly, the magician is associated with Mercury. Mercury is, again, really alchemical because Mercury is associated with the Egyptian god Thoth. I don't know how to pronounce this. I've looked it up. I've heard different pronunciations. It has come from ancient Egypt, so I don't know how to pronounce it, so excuse me, but you have heard of Thoth, Thoth. So this is the daddy of alchemy. So this is a god of language, wisdom, literature, mathematics, healing. And so we bring that energy into the magician. Mercury is also, you can kind of think about Mercury almost as like bridging the spiritual and the material. Mercury is one of the only gods who can travel through all of the realms. In alchemy, Mercury is thought to be that bridge between the head and the heart. And again, in the magician, that's what we're doing. We're not just thinking about the things we want, we're leaning into the feelings of them. How would it feel if I had this? We're trusting the things that we're passionate about, but we're using our mind to plan. We're using our body to take action. We're using our words to expand, to draw things to us. So in the magician, you are absolutely a very powerful creator, and you have the potential to realize that everything really is one, everything is connected, all of your thoughts, words, actions matter. And if you use them with a channeled focus and purpose, then you, like the infinity symbol, are kind of limitless. Okay, my friends, thank you so much for being here. I hope this was a helpful tutorial. Next up will be the High Priestess. See you soon.